Hey, what's up? My name is Matt Dietz, and this is the Agency Launch Podcast. I am an active 17-year insurance agency owner, and I run a different shop than many of my peers. I've got 4,300 policies, and I have 2 staff members, and I have already made all the mistakes for you. So this podcast is to share with you all that I know. I come in and I record things as I think about them. I come in and I record things as they happen in my agency, and anything that I can think of that will help you, I come in and I share it. So I talk about sales and marketing and staffing and retention and everything that I know works in an agency like this. So I appreciate you listening, and let's get on with it. Hey, what's up? All right, so I wanted to share with you a mistake that I made years ago that I wanted you to not make. Okay, so I was in front of a large commercial account at one point in time, and large for me. The original proposal I had was like $16,000, and I put this in front of the client, and it looked good. This is a business that this person was buying. And it looked good, but he wound up going out and shopping me, and he wound up finding it for a little bit less. So I don't remember, let's say it was like $14,000 or something like that. So I was like, all right, well, let me see what I can do. And I was on a time crunch at the time, and I wound up getting another quote from another carrier, and it came back at like 13. And I was like, great, this is great here. And so I forwarded it over and I gave it to him, and there you go. Here you go. I beat it 13,000. He was stoked. He was like, all right, thank you. Now they're at closing to do the paperwork to close this deal, at title. And he winds up going through my proposal and everything, and he looks down and he realizes that I did not have both locations on the policy. I only had one. He was buying 2. And it was, my proposal was wrong because I did not go through it with a fine-tooth comb. And I had both locations on the application, but both did not show up because my underwriter didn't add the other location. And so he wound up going with the one at 14.5 because after I added the second location, my second proposal went up to 19. And I came out looking like a fool because I didn't look at the quote, and I lost the deal. And that's the last time I ever made a mistake like that. And I became fanatical about my numbers and made sure that if any mistakes were going to be made, that I would catch them before I put a proposal down in front of a client. It's embarrassing. It was, I felt really small. I can't believe that happened. All I did was forward the proposal. I trusted my underwriter, which, my underwriters are fine. 99 times out of 100, they do it right. But that one time, these are the steps that we have to take as agency owners and as salespeople to make sure that our numbers are accurate. And so at that point, like I said, I became very, very focused and fanatical to make sure that the number that I put in front of that person was going to be accurate. So another thing that I used to do when I was a rookie was, every time we run an auto insurance policy, we have to verify information. And in that process, we're paying for MVRs. So every time you verify a quote, we're running an MVR, and that costs money. And early on, I was looking at my, my bills and my folio, and I was like, gosh, I'm spending $300, $400, $500 a month just to run MVRs. And that's a lot of money, And so I was like, so for a while, I wasn't running MVRs, and I found out, I would ask the client, do you have any moving violations? And if they said no, I would take their word for it, And it's like, well, that's so what ends up happening is if you do a quote without any moving violations, and I would win the quote, I'd win the proposal. They'd be like, yes, I want to buy that. Then you come back into your office and you verify and you validate all the information, and bang, in pulls in 2 tickets and your quote goes up by 50%. Now you got to go back and be like, well, sorry, the quote I gave you was wrong. And now, because you told me that, now you're playing a blame game with the client, which is not super professional. Well, I was going off the information that you gave me. You told me you didn't have any tickets and you had 2. So you're never, the truth is undefeated, right? So like, those tickets are going to be found one way or another. So I just decided, after a couple of times that happened, I was like, all right, that's enough. Running MVRs is just a business expense that comes with running a business like mine. So we're going to run MVRs because I don't want to look like a fool anymore. I don't want to argue with potential clients. I don't want to tell them that they were wrong and lying to me. That's just, so I, bite the bullet and you run the MVRs. So these are things that I am just sharing with you, some of the mistakes that I made early in my career. Either I was cutting corners with time, or I was trying to cut corners with money. And, I got burned a number of times, and that can be a mark on your reputation. And so those were some early mistakes that I made in my career that I vowed never to make again. And honestly, I've really been very, very careful. I am overcautious when it comes to pricing nowadays. And I haven't been burned, in a long, long time. But I wanted to make sure that you don't make those mistakes. And because it ends up hurting you. And you don't want to have that reputation for like not knowing what you're doing, or not doing the proper work necessary to get the proper premium. So I just wanted to share those with you. So there you go. My name is Matt. Don't forget, I do another podcast called Simply Explaining Insurance, which is all about our product. And also I want you to check out my course at agencylaunch.net. It's everything that I've learned in running an agency of my size. 4,300 policies. I got 4,300 policies. I have 2 people that work for me, and we kill it every year. So if you want to learn how to run an agency like mine, go to agencylaunch.net. Use the term podcast at checkout. I'll give you 10% off anything in there. And that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for listening. Keep up the good work.